Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to Engineering Adda. So today I'm going to cover the topic how we can secure our Spring Boot application using GitHub OAuth2. So in the earlier video I have covered that how we can use the Google OAuth2 to secure our application. Here in this video we will be using GitHub OAuth2. So how we can use GitHub OAuth2. So first of all we need to generate a client ID and the secret from the GitHub. So there we need to create one application, generate the client ID and the secret key from there, and then in the second part I'm going to develop a Spring Boot application where I will be exposing one Git API and will try to authenticate every request that is coming from the user. And whenever a user is trying to hit the API, then one GitHub login page will pop up and the user has to log in with the GitHub account, and then they will be redirected to the uh, API's result. So that is what I'm going to cover in this video. So let's get started. So let me go to the browser and then let me try to open my GitHub. So let me go to GitHub. Okay, okay, you can see, yeah. Let it reload. So uh, where we need to go? We need to go to settings, and from here if you'll go down you can see there is a developer setting. You have to go there and here you will see auth apps. So you need to go there. I already created one auth app. Now I will create new one. So you can give your application name. Let's say I'm giving this Spring Boot app. Okay, here you need to provide the URL on which your application will be up. So let's say my application is going to up on the port number. Let's say I'm going to make this as a URL. So my application will be up on the port number 9090, and you can also provide some description here. And let's say the authorization callback URL is same. Okay, and let register the application here. So you can see we have generated the client ID, and here you can click on this button and then you can generate the client secret. So let me generate the secret as well. So you can see there is a secret and this is the client ID. Now let me go to IntelliJ and create the application here. So let me go to file, new, and project. So let's say it's a GitHub OAuth 2.0 in Spring Boot app. Okay, so let me go next. Okay, it is, let me try to use this auth in Spring Boot. Okay, so what I did, I just removed this 2.0. So now the application name is GitHub OAuth2 in Spring Boot. Now go next. Let me use the starter dependency Spring Web, and we need to use the auth starter dependency. So we have this auth2 client. We need to use that. Let me create the application. So it will take few seconds to configure itself and download the dependency that we have included. You can see here it is resolving the dependency and it is importing the Maven project. So once it is done, we can start our development. So what I will do, I will try to create one configuration class, and in that configuration class, whatever request is coming to our APIs, that will be authenticated. Okay, and whenever one whenever some user is hitting the API, then he or she will be redirected to the GitHub login page. So for that we need to do the configuration. So I'm going to create a configuration class, and basically I will be creating one controller class. So let me try to do that. So let's say it's a config, and here let me try to create a Spring config class. Spring config. So to authenticate the request coming from the client or the user, earlier we were using Spring Security Web Adapter, but that is deprecated now. So I'm going to use the security filter chain here. Okay. So let me create the bean of it. So this is the configuration class. We need to provide @configuration annotation here, and I'm going to create a bean of security filter chain so that we can authenticate each request coming to our APIs. Security filter chain. Okay. So here I need to pass the argument as HTTP security request, and let me try to authorize this HTTP security HTTP request, and then we have to authorize every request that is coming here. Okay, authenticated, and and then we need to whenever the request is authenticated, we need to like it will open up a auth to login page. So we are using GitHub, so GitHub auth to login page will be open up. So every request that is coming to our APIs or to our application will be authenticated, and one auth to login page will be open up. So whatever auth to you are using, like if you're using Google page will open up. If you're using GitHub page will open up. If you're using Facebook, then Facebook authentication page will open up for them. So it is like a gateway for this. Now let me try to return the HTTP security dot build. Here we need to throw the exception. So we are done with the configuration. Now let me create a controller class. So you can go here to the package. Let me create a controller package. Let's say controller example, something like that. And here let me annotate this with the @rest controller. So and let me try to do some mapping here at the class level. So I'm using request mapping. Let's say it's API, and then let me try to create a get mapping here. So here I'm providing get. Okay, and let me try to create a method which is returning simply string. So get message, something like that. Okay, let me try to return hello everyone, welcome to Engineering Adda. Okay, so whenever someone is trying to hit the API, then this message will be coming up as a result. But before before that, it will open up a login page for the GitHub. So the user, whoever is trying to access the API, he has to log in through that. So we are done now. Now let me go to the application.properties file. Let me create an application.yml file here, and then I will do some configuration related to the GitHub here. So whatever client ID and the secret that we have generated, we need to provide it here in the configuration application.yml. Okay, So it is Spring Security OAuth2 registration, and here we need to provide uh, the third party whose API, whose sign in page we are going to use here. So it is GitHub. Okay, now let's say the client ID and the client secret. So let me go to the GitHub now. This is what the client ID. So let me copy it. Come here to the IntelliJ, provide the client ID, and let me go back, copy this secret and provide it here. So we are done with the configuration. Now let me change the port number. So the port number that we made here in the GitHub is 9090. So you can see the URL that we have provided is localhost 9090. So we need to change the port of the application. So server.port 9090. So we are done with the configuration and creation of this controller and the Spring config. Now let me try to run this application and then try to access it. So it will be up on the port number 9090. So you can see this application is up on the port number 9090. Now let me try to open a, I'm not going to hit this URL in this browser because I already have logged in my this GitHub account, so it won't be asking you for the login. So let me try to go to the Chrome and then try to log in there. So let me try to open this account. Okay, so the URL is http localhost 9090 slash API slash get. You can come here to the controller and you can see it. So it is API and then get. So now let me go there and then hit it. So you can see a sign in page of GitHub is coming up here, and you have to provide your username and password. So let me provide the username and password. So it is EnggAdda and the password is, okay, let me sign in. So you can see it is asking to authorize the Spring Boot application. So I will do authorize it. Let me not. So you can see we are able to get the message that were returned by the API. So it is, hello everyone, welcome to Engineering EnggAdda. So this is how we can use the GitHub OAuth2 to secure our Spring Boot application. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content.